Today, I want to talk about something simple but life, changing the power of focusing on yourself. In a world filled with endless comparisons, constant competition, and the pressure to meet other people's expectations, the most important person you need to invest in is you. If you want to live a meaningful, successful, and fulfilled life, it starts with turning your attention inward. Self-awareness is the foundation of every meaningful journey, yet it is often overlooked in the rush of daily life. We spend so much time reacting to the world around us, meeting deadlines, pleasing others, keeping up with trends, that we rarely take the time to pause and ask the most important question of all, who am I? This is not a question to answer once and forget. It is a question to explore constantly, to examine with honesty and courage, because understanding yourself is the key to unlocking your true potential. When you know your strengths, you can leverage them to create extraordinary results. When you understand your weaknesses, you can confront them, learn from them, and transform them into opportunities for growth. Self-awareness allows you to see not only who you are today, but also who you have the capacity to become. It is the compass that guides your decisions, the lens through which you interpret every challenge and every opportunity that comes your way. Without this self-knowledge, you are like a ship drifting in the ocean, at the mercy of winds, currents, and storms, unable to chart a deliberate course toward your goals or your dreams. The journey towards self-awareness begins with reflection, but true reflection is more than just thinking about your day or recounting events. It is about diving deeper into the patterns of your behavior, the choices you make, and the emotions that drive those choices. It is about examining the motives behind your actions and the intentions behind your words. Ask yourself why you react in certain ways under pressure, why certain situations make you anxious or excited, why you feel joy in some moments and frustration in others. These questions are not meant to create guilt or self-criticism. They are meant to illuminate the inner workings of your mind and heart, to help you recognize what truly matters to you and what does not. The moment you begin to see your own patterns, both positive and negative, you gain a level of control over your life that no external advice, trend, or influence can give you. You begin to understand that your reactions are not random, that your emotions are not meaningless, and that your choices are not predetermined by circumstances. Everything starts to connect. The challenges you face, the opportunities you encounter, the people who support you or challenge you, and you begin to see your life as a coherent story rather than a series of random events. Self-awareness also requires courage, because looking at yourself honestly can be uncomfortable. It means admitting your fears, your mistakes, and your limitations. It means confronting the parts of yourself you may prefer to ignore. But it is precisely this courage that separates those who drift through life from those who actively shape it. Every successful person, every individual who has achieved something extraordinary, has spent time understanding themselves. They know where their talents lie and where they need help. They recognize what motivates them and what drains them. They understand the kinds of people, environments, and challenges that bring out their best, and they seek to align their lives with those truths. When you take the time to know yourself deeply, you begin to make decisions not based on fear, obligation, or comparison, but based on clarity, purpose, and authenticity. You start living life on your terms rather than living according to the expectations, criticisms, or opinions of others. Moreover, self-awareness gives you the power to identify the distractions and influences that prevent you from becoming your best self. In a world full of constant notifications, social comparisons, and unsolicited advice, it is easy to lose sight of what matters most. Self-awareness allows you to filter the noise. It allows you to recognize what aligns with your values and what is simply an external distraction. You start saying no to things that do not serve you and yes to things that fuel your growth. You begin to understand that your energy is finite and that where you choose to invest, it will determine the trajectory of your life. Every moment spent cultivating this awareness strengthens your ability to focus, to act decisively, and to pursue your dreams with intention and confidence. At its core, self-awareness is the first step toward freedom. Freedom from the influence of others, freedom from habits that no longer serve you, freedom from fear and uncertainty. It is the lens through which you can examine your life, your choices, and your aspirations with clarity. When you take the time to truly know yourself, you begin to see the immense potential that has always been within you, waiting for attention, waiting for action, waiting for you to finally recognize it and claim it. The moment you start to truly focus on yourself, you will notice how loud the world becomes. Everywhere you turn, someone has an opinion about what you should do, how you should live, and who you should become. Friends, family, coworkers, society, and social media all create an endless stream of expectations, judgments, and advice. While some of this comes from a place of love and care, much of it is simply noise, distractions that pull you away from your own path. If you are not careful, you will spend your life trying to meet everyone else's expectations, doing what they think is best, and ignoring the quiet voice inside you that knows exactly where you belong. Ignoring the noise of others is not about being rebellious or arrogant. It is about having the strength to protect your mental space, your focus, and your purpose from being diluted by outside interference. The truth is, when you let other people's opinions control your actions, you are no longer living your life. You are living theirs. Comparison is one of the loudest forms of noise in today's world. Every time you open your phone, you see someone who appears to be more successful, more talented, or further ahead than you. Their life looks perfect. Their achievements seem effortless. And before you know it, you begin questioning your own progress. This constant comparison drains your energy and blinds you to the progress you are actually making. You forget that social media is a highlight reel, not the full story. You forget that behind every picture, perfect moment is someone who struggles, doubts, and fights their own battles just like you. When you stop comparing, you regain your focus. You stop running someone else's race and start running your own. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. And the moment you realize this, you free yourself from the exhausting race of trying to keep up with everyone else. Ignoring the noise also means learning to separate constructive advice from destructive criticism. There will always be people who doubt you, who tell you that your dreams are too big, too unrealistic, or too far out of reach. Some will try to discourage you because they genuinely care and don't want to see you get hurt. Others will discourage you because they cannot imagine doing what you are trying to do, and they project their own fears onto you. Either way, their words are not the final authority over your life. When you have clarity about who you are and what you want, you can filter their opinions through the lens of your own vision. You can take what is helpful, discard what is harmful, and keep moving forward without losing momentum. This is not always easy because people's words can carry weight, especially when they come from those you love and respect. But the ability to say, "Thank you for sharing, but I know where I'm going," is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It is the skill of protecting your mental boundaries. You don't have to argue, explain, or defend yourself every time someone disagrees with you. You simply stay rooted in your own purpose and let your actions speak for you. Over time, the very people who doubted you may become the ones who admire your courage, but even if they don't, you will know that you stayed true to yourself. Finally, ignoring the noise means being mindful of the distractions you voluntarily consume. The endless scrolling, the gossip, the opinions of strangers online, these things take up mental space that could be used to create, to learn, to grow. Your focus is your most valuable currency, and you cannot afford to spend it on things that do not bring you closer to your goals. By intentionally shutting out the noise, you give yourself the gift of clarity. You create space to think, to dream, to take bold action without hesitation. And slowly, you will notice that the more you focus on yourself, the quieter the noise becomes, because your inner voice grows stronger than anything outside of you. Investing in yourself is the most important decision you can ever make, yet it is the one that many people neglect in the rush of life. We are quick to spend time, energy, and money on things that promise instant satisfaction, a new gadget, a trendy experience, or even the approval of others. But when it comes to building the person we truly want to become, we hesitate, we procrastinate, or we convince ourselves it is not urgent. The truth is, your mind, your skills, and your character are the only assets that will carry you through life. And they are the only things that can never be taken from you. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every habit you cultivate, and every lesson you embrace is an investment in your future self. Just like planting seeds in a garden, the effort you put into yourself today may not bear fruit immediately, but over time, it will grow into something extraordinary. something that shapes your destiny in ways that no external opportunity ever could. Investing in yourself requires intentionality. It is not enough to simply wish for change or hope that circumstances will improve. You must decide every single day to prioritize your growth. This can take many forms: learning a new skill that enhances your career, practicing emotional intelligence to improve your relationships, exercising to strengthen your body, meditating to calm your mind, or even setting aside time to reflect on your life and your goals. Each action, no matter how small, compounds over time. A single hour spent improving your knowledge or skill may seem insignificant today, but a year of consistent effort transforms you into a person who stands apart from the crowd. The person you will become is directly proportional to the time, energy, and focus you devote to yourself, and the sooner you embrace this principle, the faster your life begins to change. Investing in yourself also means prioritizing your well-being, because your potential cannot flourish if your body and mind are neglected. You must treat yourself as the most valuable project of your life, nurturing both your physical and mental health with care and consistency. This could mean adopting habits that strengthen your resilience, learning to manage stress, or simply allowing yourself moments of rest without guilt. Self-investment is not selfish. It is the most responsible action you can take for the people and causes you care about. When you are stronger, calmer, and more focused, you are better equipped to contribute to the world around you. Moreover, investing in yourself is about continuous learning. The world is constantly changing, and the skills and knowledge that made you successful yesterday may not be enough for tomorrow. The most successful and fulfilled individuals understand that growth is a lifelong journey, not a destination. They actively seek out opportunities to learn, challenge themselves, and expand their perspective. Every failure, every mistake, every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow because they have cultivated the habit of self-investment. They read books, attend seminars, seek mentors, and dedicate time to reflection, all with the intention of becoming a better version of themselves. This mindset transforms obstacles into lessons and turns every experience, good or bad, into fuel for personal growth. Finally, investing in yourself requires patience and faith. Change does not happen overnight, and results may not be immediately visible. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you question whether the effort is worth it, moments when the world seems to move faster than your progress. But if you remain consistent, if you continue to pour into yourself every day, you will eventually reach a point where the growth becomes undeniable. The skills, wisdom, and resilience you cultivate will carry you through challenges that once seemed insurmountable. And the person you become will inspire those around you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Investing in yourself is not just preparation for the future, it is the creation of a life that is rich, meaningful, and uniquely your own. Failure is one of the most misunderstood aspects of life, and yet it is one of the most essential to growth, progress, and self-discovery. From the moment we are born, we are taught to avoid failure, to fear mistakes, and to seek comfort and safety above all else. We are conditioned to see failure as a setback, as a mark of inadequacy, or as proof that we are not capable. But the truth is that failure is not the enemy of success. It is its greatest teacher. Every failure carries a lesson. Every mistake holds insight, and every setback is an opportunity to learn something that cannot be taught through success alone. When you embrace failure as a necessary and invaluable part of your journey, you stop fearing it and start using it as a tool to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The first step in embracing failure is changing the way you define it. Failure is not about being defeated. It is about trying and discovering that there is a better way to achieve your goal. It is about testing your limits and uncovering weaknesses that you were previously unaware of. It is about stretching yourself beyond comfort, because growth never happens inside the boundaries of safety. Every person who has achieved greatness has failed countless times, not because they were less capable, but because they refused to allow failure to define them. Instead, they used each setback as feedback, as a mirror reflecting what needed to change, and as a stepping stone toward improvement. Failure becomes less of a final outcome and more of a guide, a silent instructor that shows you where to adjust, where to learn, and where to focus your energy. When you stop running from failure and start learning from it, you also remove the fear that keeps most people from taking action. Fear of failure is the invisible prison that holds back dreams and stifles potential. It keeps you from speaking up, from trying something new, from pursuing a vision that feels risky or uncertain. But once you understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of the path to it, you gain a freedom that is impossible to achieve otherwise. You begin to take bold actions, knowing that even if the outcome is not perfect, the experience itself builds your strength, knowledge, and resilience. Every mistake becomes a lesson that cannot be erased, a building block for your future, and a testament to your courage in trying. Embracing failure also teaches humility and self-awareness. When you fail, you are forced to confront your weaknesses, to acknowledge your limitations, and to reflect on your decisions. This reflection is not meant to diminish you, but to give you insight into how you can improve. It allows you to grow in ways that success never could, because true growth is not found in the comfort of victory, but in the discomfort of trying and learning. Every failure brings clarity, showing you what works and what does not, revealing patterns, and helping you refine your strategies. Those who ignore failure or hide from it miss the opportunity to see themselves clearly and to evolve. Moreover, embracing failure builds resilience and courage, qualities that cannot be gained any other way. Each time you stumble and rise again, you reinforce your ability to face future challenges with strength and composure. You learn that setbacks are temporary, that effort matters more than immediate results, and that persistence is the real differentiator between those who succeed and those who give up. You begin to see life as a series of experiments where outcomes are less important than the lessons learned along the way. Failure transforms from a source of shame into a source of wisdom, guiding your actions and shaping your character. Ultimately, failure becomes an indispensable ally in your journey of self-focus and personal growth. It reminds you that life is not about perfection, but about progress, not about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them. It teaches patience, adaptability, and determination, and it allows you to face uncertainty with confidence instead of fear. Those who embrace failure understand that every setback carries the seeds of opportunity, and that every lesson learned brings them closer to the person they are meant to become. Discipline is the silent force behind every achievement, yet it is often misunderstood and undervalued in a world that glorifies instant inspiration and fleeting motivation. Motivation is powerful in the moment. It can light a fire within you, spark excitement, and create bursts of energy that push you toward action. But motivation is temporary, unpredictable, and fragile. It depends on circumstances, moods, and emotions that fluctuate constantly, leaving you vulnerable to distraction, procrastination, and doubt. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady, unwavering, and reliable. It is the commitment to act consistently, even when you do not feel like it, even when the excitement has faded, and even when the world seems indifferent to your efforts. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve, because it transforms intention into action and vision into reality. Understanding the power of discipline means recognizing that success is not about grand gestures or rare moments of brilliance, but about the accumulation of small, deliberate actions repeated day after day. Every habit you cultivate, every routine you commit to, and every choice to show up consistently is a deposit in the bank of your future. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who struggles is often not talent, luck, or intelligence, but the ability to maintain focus and consistency over time. Motivation may get you started, but discipline ensures you finish. It is the bridge between desire and accomplishment, and it becomes the foundation upon which all other principles of growth are built. Discipline also teaches resilience because it requires you to act in spite of obstacles, fatigue, and doubt. There will be days when your mind tells you to quit, when your body complains, and when the world seems to conspire against you. Discipline is the inner voice that responds, "I will do it anyway." It is the quiet determination that keeps you moving forward when circumstances are not ideal, when inspiration is absent, and when the easy path is tempting. The more you cultivate discipline, the more you realize that you are stronger than you thought, that your limits are often self-imposed, and that consistency has a compounding effect that cannot be achieved through bursts of temporary motivation alone. Every time you act with discipline, you reinforce your ability to endure, to persist, and to achieve beyond what seems possible in the moment. Another critical aspect of discipline is its role in building habits. Habits are the structure of your daily life, and they define the trajectory of your future. Without discipline, habits remain unformed, inconsistent, and weak. With discipline, you create routines that support your growth, strengthen your skills, and align your actions with your goals. Whether it is dedicating time to learning, exercising, planning, or self-reflection, disciplined habits remove the uncertainty of relying solely on willpower or fleeting motivation. They create automatic pathways to success where progress is inevitable because it is built into your daily behavior. Discipline turns effort into a natural part of your life rather than a sporadic or exhausting struggle. Discipline also sharpens focus. In a world full of distractions, temptations, and competing priorities, the ability to stay committed to what truly matters is invaluable. Motivation may attract your attention to a goal, but discipline keeps you there when distractions pull at every corner of your life. It allows you to prioritize long-term growth over short-term comfort, to endure temporary discomfort for lasting rewards, and to remain patient when results take time to manifest. Discipline is not rigid or joyless. It is the structure that creates freedom because it allows you to channel your energy efficiently, to make progress without hesitation, and to move confidently toward your vision. Finally, discipline builds character. Every choice to act despite fatigue, doubt, or fear strengthens your inner resolve and reinforces your self-respect. You begin to trust yourself, knowing that you have the ability to show up consistently, to follow through on commitments, and to honor your goals even when it is difficult. Motivation may inspire you occasionally, but discipline transforms you permanently. It creates the kind of momentum that cannot be stopped, the kind of focus that cannot be shaken, and the kind of confidence that comes from knowing that your actions are aligned with your deepest purpose and highest vision. Setting your own benchmarks is one of the most liberating and transformative decisions you can make in life. Yet it is one of the most difficult for many people to embrace. From a young age, society teaches us to measure ourselves by standards set by others, whether it is grades in school, career achievements, social status, or material wealth. We are conditioned to compare our lives to the lives of people around us, to constantly evaluate ourselves against their successes and failures. This constant comparison creates pressure, anxiety, and self-doubt, and it often leads people to chase goals that are not truly their own. But the moment you learn to set your own benchmarks, to define success by your values, your growth, and your vision, you reclaim control over your life. You stop living according to other people's expectations, and you begin living according to your own purpose. The process of setting your own benchmarks begins with self-awareness and reflection. You must know what truly matters to you, not what society tells you should matter. This requires honesty and courage because it may challenge the norms and expectations you have grown up with. What do you want your life to stand for? What kind of person do you aspire to become? What impact do you want to leave on the world? When you answer these questions with clarity, you begin to define benchmarks that are meaningful and motivating. These benchmarks are not arbitrary numbers or superficial achievements. They are personal milestones that reflect your growth, your effort, and your progress in becoming the best version of yourself. Once you set your own benchmarks, you develop a sense of purpose that is immune to external judgment. When others criticize, doubt, or compare you, it no longer shakes your confidence because your measure of success is internal, not external. You understand that your journey is unique, that your pace is yours alone, and that the only person you need to surpass is the person you were yesterday. This perspective brings a deep sense of freedom because you are no longer trapped in a cycle of envy or competition that drains your energy and clouds your focus. Instead, you channel your energy into achieving goals that resonate with your soul, rather than chasing outcomes that impress others. Setting your own benchmarks also teaches patience and resilience. When you define success on your terms, you understand that progress is often incremental and that meaningful achievements take time. You learn to celebrate small wins, to honor the effort that goes into growth, and to view setbacks as part of the journey rather than a reflection of your worth. By doing so, you cultivate a mindset that values persistence, adaptability, and long-term vision over instant gratification or fleeting recognition. You stop rushing to meet someone else's timeline and start trusting the process of your own development, knowing that your efforts are building something lasting and significant. Moreover, personal benchmarks empower you to take control of your decisions and priorities. When you know what you are working toward and why it matters, every choice becomes intentional. You no longer waste energy on distractions, superficial pursuits, or obligations that do not align with your values. You learn to say no to what does not serve your growth, and yes to what brings you closer to your goals. This clarity allows you to focus deeply, work more efficiently, and dedicate your time and effort to the actions that truly matter. Finally, setting your own benchmarks strengthens your self-confidence and self-respect. When your achievements are measured against your own standards, you recognize the progress you make, the obstacles you overcome, and the personal growth you achieve. You no longer depend on validation from others to feel worthy or successful. Instead, you cultivate an inner sense of accomplishment that is steady, empowering, and deeply satisfying. This internal validation becomes a driving force that fuels further growth and motivates you to continue pushing the limits of what you thought was possible. By defining success on your own terms, you create a life that is authentic, purposeful, and fully your own. And you develop the courage and clarity to keep striving, learning, and evolving in a world that often pressures you to conform. Celebrating your progress instead of chasing perfection is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life, and it is a principle that can transform your mindset, your motivation, and the way you experience every day. From the moment we start pursuing goals, we are taught to aim for perfection, to get it right the first time, to achieve flawless results, and to never make mistakes. Society, media, and even our own internal critics reinforce the idea that anything less than perfect is failure. This obsession with perfection creates frustration, stress, and self-doubt. It makes every milestone feel insufficient and every achievement feel temporary. But the truth is that perfection is an illusion, and the pursuit of it often paralyzes more people than it inspires. Progress, on the other hand, is real, measurable, and deeply empowering. It is the accumulation of small wins, consistent effort, and meaningful growth that ultimately shapes a successful and fulfilled life. The first step in celebrating progress is recognizing that every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals. Too often, we focus only on the end result, forgetting that every step along the way is part of the journey. Learning a new skill, completing a difficult task, overcoming a challenge, or simply showing up consistently are all victories that deserve acknowledgement. These moments of progress build momentum, confidence, and resilience. They remind you that you are capable, that your efforts matter, and that even incremental improvements have the power to create extraordinary outcomes over time. By focusing on progress instead of perfection, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity and criticism to one of abundance and encouragement. Celebrating progress also requires compassion toward yourself. It means being kind when you fall short, patient when results are delayed, and understanding when mistakes happen. Progress is rarely linear. It comes with setbacks, detours, and challenges. When you honor the journey rather than obsessing over flawless outcomes, you allow yourself to continue moving forward without the weight of guilt or self-judgment. This self-compassion is not weakness, it is strength. It enables you to maintain your motivation, protect your mental and emotional energy, and sustain the persistence required to achieve long-term success. By embracing progress, you recognize that every effort, every decision, and every experience contributes to the person you are becoming. Another vital aspect of celebrating progress is learning to measure success on your own terms. In a world that constantly compares, criticizes, and ranks achievement, it is easy to feel inadequate if you rely on external validation. Progress allows you to define success personally, based on growth, learning, and resilience rather than comparison or approval. This mindset frees you from the pressure of societal expectations and allows you to pursue goals that are truly meaningful to you. Each milestone, no matter how modest it may seem to others, becomes a source of pride and motivation, reinforcing the value of your effort and inspiring further action. Finally, celebrating progress fosters a sense of gratitude and fulfillment. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what you have accomplished, from frustration to appreciation, and from despair to hope. Recognizing progress creates positive energy that fuels further growth, attracts opportunities, and strengthens your confidence. It allows you to enjoy the journey rather than obsess over the destination. And it transforms challenges into opportunities to reflect, learn, and advance. Every step forward is a testament to your courage, discipline, and determination, and acknowledging it reminds you that success is built not in moments of perfection, but in the consistent, dedicated pursuit of your dreams. In conclusion, celebrating progress over perfection is not a compromise. It is a principle that empowers, motivates, and sustains you. By focusing on growth, learning from mistakes, and honoring every step of your journey, you cultivate resilience, self-compassion, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Life is not about achieving flawless outcomes. It is about moving forward, embracing challenges, and becoming the best version of yourself with each passing day. When you choose to celebrate progress, you break free from the chains of unrealistic expectations. You build confidence in your abilities, and you create a life that is meaningful, authentic, and richly rewarding. Remember, the journey itself is your greatest achievement, and every step you take is worth celebrating.